Hey, this is the World Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is a topic that is very controversial and needs to be discussed, and is one of the most toxic topics that has come up in a long time. And yes, it's just bordering just as toxic as the stage. Always try to stay positive, type of way of thinking, or attitude, whatever you like to say, that was popular a few years ago, especially around like 2016 or something, before we realized, yeah, it's extremely toxic, and it's actually, if anything, the worst thing you could possibly do. That way of thinking, always be positive and always try to be happy 24/7. Yes, it's boring that. And that is, if I didn't already say it before, is humbleness. Being extremely humble. Be humble, be humble, be humble, be humble, be humble. And that is what I'm going to talk about today, and why it's actually extremely toxic. And if anything, it's actually just kind of bad to do. Now when I'm talking about humbleness, I'm not talking about humbleness in of itself. I'm talking about trying too hard to be extremely humble, and so on and so forth. Like taking it too far. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So let's get started. So when it comes to humbleness, why is humbleness toxic? The problem with humbleness, and this might come as a surprise to a lot of people, is that the problem with humbleness is just simply the mindset of humbleness. Extreme humbleness I'm referring to, which is a mindset that, I should always have this mindset of, for everything you do in life, I always have to be cautious. I don't know if I'm right on this, and this and that. That way of thinking, I'm being extremely humble for everything. Extremely humble for everything, in all honesty. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say here, okay? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at here. Is this extreme obsession with modesty and that way of thinking idealistically. So like whenever you're working on something, like let's just say for example, you're working on a skill, or you're working on, you have an opinion on something, humbleness teaches us, that toxic humbleness, referring to specifically humbleness, that form of humbleness, teaches us, I should always be cautious, I shouldn't be confident. Yeah, that's what I'm going for, exactly. That's what I mean. I shouldn't be extremely confident with my opinion. I should always feel suspicious and fear and paranoid. Okay, I could be wrong here and there. And that's the problem with being extremely humble, is that it teaches you, to not be confident. Okay? Even if you clearly have evidence to show, yes, I'm actually a very intelligent person. I've been to school, I've done a lot of work, I have spoken to people. My knowledge, as well as my ability to articulate things, is actually very good compared to most people. So you can clearly tell I'm a very intelligent person, but the thing about this humble mindset is that you shouldn't feel too confident or this and that in your abilities. And that's kind of the problem with it, though. And stuff like this is the exact reason why intelligent people are so unhappy, because they have this way of thinking, this way of thinking that I always have to be humble for everything. I always have to be cautious, I don't know if I'm right on this. Like that lack of straight up confidence, just that paranoia, I might be wrong or this and that. Well, we live in a world where people say some of the dumbest stuff imaginable. And to be quite blunt and honest with you, a lot of middle-aged women, particularly, I don't want to come off as racist, but of course there are. But let's be honest, a lot of middle-aged white females say some of the dumbest stuff imaginable. Especially when it comes to your opinions on topics and different things, they say some of the dumbest stuff imaginable. Because a lot of them live very comfortable lives, so they don't have to worry about anything. So they can just say anything. And a lot of them, because, they're women, and of course some of them might be quite attractive, people always give them, the high five for everything. So they're not used to being scrutinized and stuff. So they say some of the dumbest stuff imaginable. And a lot of them are very confident. They're very confident in their abilities, and are very sure and as clear as day, I'm right on everything. And not even just dumb, just in general, we live in a world, as the saying goes, the people in the world who tend to be the most confident are some of the dumbest, which even there's a term for it, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, while the people who tend to be actually the most intelligent tend to be some of the most insecure people you could possibly imagine in your life and beyond. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. Why the heck do we, as intelligent people, and just in general, whatever, intelligent, intellectual, whatever, just anyone who actually uses their brain and actually puts thoughts into things, why should you have to torture yourself like that? It's perfectly fine to feel confident. It's just more, obviously, you just don't be stupid about it. You don't go around bragging and talking all this stuff all the time and saying I'm better than everyone else and like that, like some sort of narcissist and stuff. You be smart enough to at least keep it to yourself. You can be confident and just keep it to yourself. Don't just say everything. And this is the reason why we in general live in a culture where people hate it when people become successful. Whether rich and this and that, rich, famous, all that type of stuff. It's not even that you're rich and famous because you worked hard for it, okay? It's the fact that they don't shut up about it. They go around everywhere acting like they're better than everyone else, talking crap, being rude, being disrespectful to people. That's why so many people have issues with them. It's not even about jealousy. It's just they don't know when to shut up, to answer your question. While, for example, if someone kept quiet, and at least when it comes to feeling confident, they wouldn't have the problems that they have, that those people have. And that's the truth of the matter. And that's the reason why I'm trying to say here. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at here, to be quite honest with you. So the truth of the matter is, when it comes to this particular issue, absolutely, you can be confident. If you're a very intelligent person, be confident. Don't be humble. Be confident. Just don't say anything on your head. And that's pretty much what I have to say about this particular thing. And that's my solution to it. But aside from that, when it comes to further expanding on my solution I have for how to find a good balance, this is what I think, okay, about humbleness, okay, the best way to be when it comes to the topic of humbleness. Okay, my absolute solution, my full solution is that when it comes to humbleness, it's perfectly okay to be humble, but it's good to be humble, I should say, but just realize that being too humble is problematic. You can be humble, but don't be too humble, because at some point you can kind of realize, okay, if I did so well for this, and I've done this well for things in general, then okay, I don't have to be Mr. Super duper humble all the time. I just keep your opinions to yourself. If you're a very confident person, just don't say it around everyone. Just keep it in your head. That's all you really have to do. Don't just listen to what everyone else in the world has to say. And that's kind of the problem a lot of these humble people have, is that you need to be confident. Don't just feel like, oh, I'm suspicious or this and that all the time. Just be confident. You can be confident. You don't have to torture yourself and make yourself suffer, in all honesty. And that's exactly what I have to say here. So anyway, this is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, later.